Welcome back to the OSM channel. In tonight's video, I'd like to teach you how to jar your own homemade pickles utilizing the hot water bath method. Off camera, I have I believe that's a steaming pot, and in that steaming pot I can fit 3 of these wide mouth canning jars. But anyway, we're going to be using some very simple ingredients tonight. I have homegrown Boston pickling cucumbers, fresh dill from the garden, store-bought garlic, kosher salt, but I've read it's better to use pickling salt, but we're going to make do with the kosher salt. I have some organic black mustard seeds, 5% distilled white vinegar, and of course our canning jars. I prefer 1 quart wide mouth canning jars. So without further ado, let's get started. Now I like to process 3 canning jars at a time, so we're going to fill 3 of these up halfway, but the first thing we have to decide, are we going to keep our cucumbers whole, cut them lengthwise, cut them crosswise into chips? If you do decide to leave your cucumbers whole, what you want to do is cut off the ends. I've read that the ends, if you leave them on, they can cause the cucumbers to become squishy over time. So that's completely up to you. I'm going to cut these up into little bite-sized chips. Now, when you're cutting these up, I'm sure there's some fancy kitchen gadgets, but a little trick you can use with a knife. If you curve your finger in and rest the knife blade against the back of your finger, it makes it very difficult for that knife's edge to hit your finger. It's a little culinary tip. So we're going to discard the ends, and we're going to cut this up into whatever width size pieces you prefer. I'm probably going with 1/8 to 1/4 inch. We'll add these to our jar. You want to pack these in there nice and tight. Again, we're only going about halfway. With each of our jars filled up about halfway, we're going to add to each jar 2 pieces of dill and 2 pieces of garlic. Let's continue filling up our jars now. Alright, I have my jars packed nice and tight. I've allocated a little less than 1/2 inch of headspace. So what we need to do now is we need to add our black mustard seeds. I'd like to add a 1/2 teaspoon for each jar. So this might not make sense, but what we're going to do now is we're going to add our 3 jars to the strainer on this steam pot, and we're going to start filling this up with water. We're going to fill the water to where it's maybe 2 inches below the top of the jars for now. Also, I should have mentioned, I highly recommend adding hot water to the pot because it'll save you some time on the stove. Right, that's about 1.5 inches below the top of the jar, so we're going to take this and we're going to put it on the stove now and turn the heat on. So why do we add our jars to the steam pot, and why do we fill it up with water most of the way up? Well, the reason is quite simple. On my electric stove top, it's going to take a while for this to heat up. And what we're going to do next is we're going to make a brine. We're actually going to have to boil our brine, and the last thing we want to do is add that boiling brine to cold jars and cold water, because that could cause a thermal shock and could cause the glass to quite literally break apart. So think of it this way. We're pre-warming the jars so they're ready to accept that hot boiling brine. So now it's time to make the brine. Basically, we're going to add the ingredients to this second pot. We're going to boil the brine for 5 minutes, then we're going to add it to our jars. Now, what is the ratio? For 3 canning jars, what I typically do is I use 3 cups of 5% distilled white vinegar, 3 cups of water, and 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. 3 cups of vinegar, 3 cups of water, and 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. So I'm going to stir up the brine, and once this starts to boil, we need to allow this to boil for 5 minutes before we add it to our canning jars. So here's the brine. The brine has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and you can see our hot water bath is just shy of a rolling boil, which is perfect. That means when we add the brine to the canning jars, it's not going to cause any kind of thermal shock. So So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the brine to each jar. We're going to try and leave 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch of headspace. Okay, that's about perfect. With the brine in the jars, it's time to install the lids. Now, a few things about the lids. You always want to use a brand new lid. Never reuse your lids. Some of the old school folks will take a dish towel and wipe the top perimeter of their canning jar to ensure there's no dust or hair or lint on the top of their jars to ensure you get a good seal. It's up to you. I've never done it in the past, never had an issue. And the other thing I want to mention here is you don't want to screw these lids on tight. Like, watch what I do here. So spin it counterclockwise, then clockwise, ensure it's centered. Just finger tight, like that. You don't need much here. It's very important that you don't over tighten these lids, because what needs to happen when this water starts boiling, we need to allow that hot gas to escape. And if you overscrew that lid, you won't allow that hot gas to escape, and you probably are going to have an issue in terms of getting a good seal on your jars. So again, ensure the lid is centered, finger tight. That's it. And what we need to do now is we're going to turn up the heat all the way if it's not already turned up, and we're going to add some more hot water from the sink very slowly, not directly to the glass, but in the pot. And we want this water to be just about at the top of these jars. That's about perfect. Can add a little more salt. We're now at a rolling boil, so we're going to allow these jars to stay submerged in this boiling water for 15 minutes. Alright, it's been 15 minutes. Shut off the heating element. Move the pot off the element. These are going to be very hot. Now at this point, I typically like to tighten up the lids. I also wipe down the top. And what we're going to do now is we're going to allow these jars to air cool on the counter overnight. And when we come back in the morning, there's a safety seal, and that one actually just went in. But what should happen overnight, these safety seals should be drawn in, and it should look like this one in the morning. But I think we're going to be okay now. So what happens if you have a good seal, as things cool, you know, the molecules contract, creating kind of like a negative pressure inside the jar, and it should draw that safety seal in. If you find that that safety seal is popped out in the morning, well, chances are your jar didn't seal properly, and you're going to have to either use the jar right away, discard it, or honestly, it'd probably be best if you use it right away, just put it in the fridge because something didn't seal properly. Anyway, folks, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll leave links to everything I used in today's video in the description down below. Real quick, typically I find that these pickles remain shelf stable for about a year. However, after about 9 to 10 months, the pickles start to lose some of their crunch. I've also read that if you use pickling salt, it helps to maintain the crunchiness of the pickles a little bit later on down the road. If you've done this before, I'd like to hear your thoughts and comments. What do you do differently compared to what I do? But anyway, again, I'd like to thank you for watching. As always, I will catch you on the next one.